Hello YouTube, Draconis1 here. Today I will be showing you a deck profile of one of my favorite decks. It's a very shocking deck. You may not know what I am running, so when you get beaten by it, you will be surprised. It's, sorry for the bad puns there. It's actually a very powerful deck, if it gets running. I will be showing you my watts today. So here we go. Alright, the first monster we have is 3 copies of Watt Cobra. Watt Cobra is one of the best monsters of the deck. 1000 attack point direct attacker. When it inflicts damage via a direct attack, you can search out a Watt monster from your deck. This adds a lot of consistency power to the deck, and it also allows you to not run as many of the bad watts as you would normally have to do otherwise. I will talk more about that later. Next card, 3 copies of Watt Hopper. Watt Hopper is probably the heart and soul of the deck, or as some might call it, the win condition. Watt Hopper alone, it's useless, but when you have 2 out on the field at the same time, it creates probably one of the most powerful locks in the game. When Watt Hopper is on the field, or when 2 of them are on the field, your opponent cannot target a Watt monster, and they cannot attack a Watt monster. This makes it very, very rage-inducing for many opponents, such as Inzectors, for example. If you have 2 Watt Hoppers, they cannot use Inzector or Hornet's effect to destroy a face-up Watt monster. This is, again, the win condition of the deck. You want to get Watt Hoppers on the field, or a pair of Watt Hoppers on the field ASAP, and protect it. That's the point of the deck. That's what the deck tries to do. That's how it wins. Alright, that's the Hopper. Then we have 3 copies of Watt Dragonfly. This card is the best searcher in the game, in my opinion. When it's destroyed by battle or by card effect, then you can special summon a Watt monster from your deck. It doesn't have to be sent to the grave, so if Macro's on the field, you can still use Watt Dragonfly's ability, which is one of the reasons it makes him so good. Again, it adds the consistency factor. One of the best turn 0 openings is with Watt Dragonfly. If you have a Watt Hopper in hand, you can set him, and he'll probably get destroyed, which means you will probably have the Watt Hopper lock set up. And then if you have protection, you're good to go. Again, it's very, very consistent, and it's very, very good. After that, we have another searcher. This one isn't quite as good, but I still use 2 anyway. Shining Angel. I've put this here in order just because it's another searcher. It's 1400 attack, and when it's destroyed by battle, you can special summon a light monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in face-up attack position. This is one of the main ways to get out the Hopper lock is through the searchers. We have the 3 Dragonflies and the 2 Shining Angels. That's 5 battle searchers right there. And with the Watt Cobras, you can add the Watt Hoppers to your hand and create the lock setup. It's quite easy to do, and it happens quite often. The other added bonus of Shining Angel is that he's level 4, so which means you can make Utopia if you really, really need to. Yeah, that's Shining Angel. Not much more to say. Next in the list, we have more Watt monsters. In this case, 2 copies of Watt Giraffe. Watt Giraffe is another very, very good Watt card. It does have a tendency to clog your hand, though. I only run 2 for that reason. Watt Giraffe is one of the most I think it was the first Watt card to be released, and it grabbed a lot of attention because of its very unique stun effect. It attacks directly, it inflicts 1,200 points damage, and after... Sorry about that, my computer is set to tell the time. Anyway, when it inflicts damage via a direct attack, your opponent can't do anything for the rest of the turn. So this card ensures a lot of safety with your other cards. So, for example, if you're playing Dino Rabbit, you can summon Watt Giraffe, poke for 12. They can't do anything else. So then, if they have an Evil Czar on the field, let's say they didn't want to negate his summon with Logia, for whatever reason, then if you have a Watt Dragonfly, you can suicide into Logia, bring out the next card I'm going to show you, and troll. So, Watt Giraffe is a good card. I only run 2 because it can clog. Alright, now the card I was just telling you about. It's time to shine. I summon Watt Pheasant. Watt Pheasant is an XYZ killer. When it inflicts damage via a direct attack, you can remove from play a monster on the field until the end phase. This will detach any materials the XYZ monster has. So in the scenario I was just telling you about, your opponent has a Logia, you have a Giraffe and a Dragonfly. Direct attack for 12. Attack into Logia. They can't do anything about it. Bring out Pheasant. Pheasant attacks directly. Banish Logia, and it loses its material. It's a very good card if you're running against an XYZ deck. I only run 1 because of the searchability factor it has, meaning you can search it out with the 3 Watt Cobras, you can search it out with the 3 Watt Dragonflies, and you can even search it out if you really need to with the Shining Angels. That's a lot of search power right there, so you don't really need to run 2, you don't need to run 3, but again, if you're really worried about XYZ decks, you can. Alright, and now, remember when I was talking about Watt Cobra, I mentioned the bad Watts? This card is one of them, but it's necessary to run 1, in my opinion. It creates an even more powerful lock, Watt Fox. It's a level 2 tuner. I only run 1 because, again, of the searchability factor that I showed you with Watt Pheasant. Its only purpose is to be used as a tuner. I have never used its actual effect. I probably never will. The main purpose for this is to synchro for Watt's Chimera, which creates another very, very powerful lock if you have the hoppers on the field. That's the only reason I run this. You could run the level 2 Watt Beta, I think it is, but I am running Fox just because, in case I need to use its effect, it's better. But then again, I've never used its effect, I probably never will, so yeah, that is Watt Fox. Alright. You'll notice that, or you probably have noticed, that all Watts are light. You can probably guess what this means. And the last monster I'm running is a light support monster. Honest. Yep, Honest. You all know what it does. Great card. I have used it on numerous occasions to get over powerful monsters that I couldn't have otherwise, that would have spelled game for me. It's a great card. I choose to run it, some people don't, so that's Honest. And I am being totally honest right now by saying that is all of the monsters in the deck. So I will start on the spells and traps next. Alright, spells and traps. Monster Reborn. Self-explanatory. MST. Self-explanatory. Next card, 1-for-1. This helps set up the Watt-Hopper lock. You'll notice Watt-Hopper is level 1. So, 1-for-1, ditch a monster you have, special summon a Watt-Hopper from your deck, and odds are you probably have another way to get one out. Be that Dragonfly, another one in hand from Cobra, or Monster Reborn, Call of the Haunted. It helps get out the lock. What else is there to say? That's the main point of the deck, so why not use it? Alright, then we have 2 copies of Recycling Batteries. Recycling Batteries has saved me a couple of times. I'm not sure that 2 is required, but I tend to use it more than, or I would tend to prefer to have it than to not have it. Let's say they somehow get out of the lock via dark hole, torrential, whatever. You can use Recycling Batteries to return them to your hand and attempt to get another lock going. Or let's say if you run out of Cobras early on from searching, you can return them to your hand. Every monster in the deck is Recycling Batteries targets except for the Angels and Honest. So it's never dead, or I've never had it dead, except very early on in the game. I might go down to 1, but it's been good at 2. Alright, next spell we have is 3 copies of Messenger of Peace. This is in here for battle protection when you don't have the lock set up, as nothing is more infuriating than opening up with, let's say, a couple of giraffes, or basically any direct attacker without protection, because they don't have very high attack points. They will probably be run over in battle, so Messenger of Peace helps protect it. I've won games solely because of Messenger of Peace and attacking until their life points are gone. There's not much more to say, although make sure to remember to pay the cost, because remembering that can be a hassle. And if you're playing an opponent who rule sharks, that's not very fun in general, but Messenger won't help you if you don't remember to pay the cost. The cost isn't that much, so don't be afraid to use it. It protects. It's a great protector, I find. I like it better than Threatening Roar because it's continuous, but then again, because it's continuous, it's more vulnerable to MST, that kind of thing. So it's up to you whether you want to run Messengers or Threatening Roars. I prefer Messengers, but choose to do what you think is better. And that's it for the spells of the deck. On to traps. Like I said, you want to protect the Hopper Lock, and that is what most of my traps do. I run 3 Huge Revolution Reversal. It's basically a better Starlight Road. Banishes the target instead. It's a counter trap card, so they can't chain to it unless they have another counter trap. The only way to get out of the Hopper Lock is with cards that don't target. For example, Dark Hole, dealt by this, or dealt with this. Torrential Tribute, taken care of with this. Black Rose Dragon, taken care of with that. This card protects from most of the ways that your opponent is able to get out of the lock. So I run 3. It's a little bit more than many people run, but I prefer to have this at all times, or as much as possible. I run 3. People run 2. I have seen people run 1. But I prefer this over Starlight just because it cannot be Solemned, that kind of thing. Or Solemn Warninged, just so you're clear on that. It can be Solemn Judgment, but it cannot be solemn warninged. That's that. Alright, and then next we have 3 more protections. Dark Bribes. I run 3 of them. I've seen people run 2, I've seen people run 1, I've seen people... Dark Bribe stops Torrential, stops Dark Hole. It's a great card, except for the draw factor. I have lost once because of it, but it has saved me a lot more than it has killed me. This can be a not-so-good card in many decks, but it's protection, and the hoppers need protection. So I run 3. After that, we have more protection. 1 copy of Solemn Judgment. It's obligatory protection. Yeah, that's what most of my traps are. Saving your hoppers from destruction. Then I have 2 copies of Warning. Stops Black Rose Dragon. Stops pretty much anything that can be harmful. Although I gotta say, know when to use them. That is important. I have had opponents try to bait out Warning only to save their destruction for later. So make sure you know when the time is appropriate to use it. That goes for most of the cards in the deck as well. As with any deck, that's the case, so there's really nothing new there. And the last 2 cards are 2 copies of Call of the Haunted. Call of the Haunted, I've pulled some crazy shenanigans with this. Let's say I have a Giraffe on the field and a Call of the Haunted set. I can attack directly with Giraffe. They can't do anything now. Flip Call of the Haunted, special back Cobra, attack, search. I've actually won games with that. I think at Locals last week I defeated Dino Rabbit in top 4 with this play right here. Stunned them, Call the Haunted, Cobra, attack for game. People don't see it coming. It's a very powerful play if you can manage to pull it off. Although it's not the best option at some times. Just be aware that there are many other plays that the deck can do that are better than this. For example, one of them that I used again in a victory is I had Hopper on the field, summoned I think by my last Dragonfly. I don't remember what they had. Sorry about that. So anyway, I flipped Call, special summoned another Hopper, and won from there. Actually, in an attack position. So, yeah, Call the Haunted is a valuable asset to the deck. I run 2. I don't run 3 because it can clog and it's not useful at sometimes, although the majority of the time it is. I do not have my extra deck, or sorry, my side deck complete at the moment because I have converted it to my Inzectors, which I'm using for Locals tomorrow. So I can't show you my side deck for the Watts at the moment, but I can show you some of the cards in the extra deck. So I will gather those and be back momentarily. Alright, here is the extra deck. I have 3 copies of Watt Chimera. This card is evil. When he attacks directly and inflicts damage, your opponent selects, or you select 1 random card. I think it's random. Yeah, place 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the top of their deck. This effectively skips their draw phase if they have cards in their hand. This is the main synchro I use, and the main way to get it out is with the bad, quote-unquote, Watt Fox, and usually I synchro it with one of these 2 monsters. The most common way to do it is with Fox plus Cobra. There's not much to say there, besides that it will get you Watt Chimera. I'm trying to think of what to say here. Chimera plus the Hopper Lock is almost certain to spell game for your opponent, seeing as they can't attack. Let's see, what can I get this to? There, I guess that'll work a little bit better. They can't attack, they can't target, and they skip their draw phase if they have cards in their hand. So you can keep poking for 14, there's not much they can do about it. And this is the point where you have these 3 cards on your side of the field that opponents start to really rage. I've had people cuss me out for using a cheap deck. They say it's noobish, but it's fun to use, so why not use it? It's surprisingly good in the meta right now, except against windups. This is the Watt Lock. It's infamous, or at least it should be. It's powerful. There's really not much you can do to break it. If you get Watt Chimera out, there's not much your opponent's going to be able to do. They can't touch it with Insector Hornet. They can't touch it via battle. Again, I'm probably just rambling right now, but when you get this field, you're probably going to win, especially when backed by the protection you have. Solemn Judgment, Bribe, Huge Revolution Reversal. When you have this, there's not much your opponent's going to do to stop you, in all honesty. I probably said too much about this now, and I will continue with the extra deck. Sorry about rambling. So, here we go. The rest of the extra deck is mostly just filler, with extra options that I probably won't need, but might, such as Scrap Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, Brionac, Catastor, Chimeratech, Maestroke, Utopia, Dark Mist, Gachi, Acid Golem, Leviathan, and Leviar. The cards that you will probably use most are these 2, besides Chimera, level 4. So you can use it via Cobra, Giraffe, Angel, and Pheasant. They're good. I'm sorry, I'm kind of not sure what to say right now. So that is the Watt deck. I will upload my Insectors a little bit later, I think. So yeah, I hope you guys have a nice day. And if I'm feeling up to it, I will add some more combos of the deck later on. Just show you other plays that you can do, common situations. So yeah, that's that. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to show you a couple of common situations that you will encounter in the deck, and a couple of combo plays you can do. In this first situation, you have a Watt Dragonfly and 2 Hoppers. Let's say your opponent has a monster with higher than 900 attack. You can Suicide with Dragonfly, Special Summon Cobra. Cobra makes a direct attack, search out Watt Fox, and you're ready to sink next turn, or if you didn't summon, you can sink this turn if you want. So I guess the main point is that Watt Cobra can search out Fox to synchro with. That's one of the reasons I only run 1, as I explained earlier. And the other point of the deck, don't be afraid to suicide with Watt Dragonfly unless you're low on life points. If suiciding will help you get out the lock, and therefore the win, by all means, do it. Same thing goes for Shining Angel. If your opponent leaves a face-up attack position monster, you can suicide to get out your combo cards needed. There's so much searchability in the deck that there's really not much. There's really I don't know what I'm saying here. I'm sorry.